Here we go. Let me pull this microphone away from me so you can't hear me breathing the whole time. Okay, so this is episode 1 of Limitless. What I'm going to do with the Limitless series is talk about what is happening so far, the exercises that I'm doing, the questions that I'm asking myself, the way that I'm approaching this whole endeavor. So today, I want to basically go over everything I've gone through so far. If we're looking at the book that I am currently reading, I am only 1/3 of the way done. So, plenty to do, which is a good thing because, truth be told, this past 89 pages is more credibility and proof of concept with italicized proof of concept. So, this whole time, basically, the author's been saying, you got to do this. Trust me. I'm an expert. I teach at schools. I work with Marvel Studios and their actors, and science has proven that happy people live longer. Um, there's a lot of backstory on the author, if you care about that. Um, but what matters to me and to us, I guess, if you're watching this, is I have my notebook. This is my notebook that I am starting our endeavor on. And the very first page has a quote on it. Well, there's two quotes on it. And the most important one is the top one that says, what's one of your dreams? One that is ever present like a splinter in your brain. Imagine it in vivid detail. Visualize it. Feel it. Believe it. And work daily for it. And that's really the whole reason I made this YouTube channel, is that I always wanted to have a YouTube channel. It seemed like a lot of fun to talk to people and engage and, grow together as a community and as a just a group of people that all agreed on something. The world was, well, when I wanted to have a YouTube channel, the world was so bad and negative then, and it really hasn't gotten much better. But I guess it's dependent upon where you're looking for your positive reinforcement, right? If you don't like water, but you go to a water park, you're going to be disappointed. Anyways, the next quote is life has no limitations except the ones you make, which I think is a big a big deal. In the book, the author talks about how I forget when, but sometime in the past, in the 80s or 90s or whatever, it was considered humanly impossible to run 1 mile under 4 minutes. That was the line. That was the. It doesn't matter how good you are. You will never, ever be that good that you can run 1 mile in 4 minutes. It's impossible. So that was a limitation that was created for the human race. They said it cannot be done, and people just bought into it. And of course, someone showed up, and they have a name, and they did something very important, and they ran a mile in 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and like 47 milliseconds, proving that you can run a mile in 4 minutes, and it's not impossible. It's only impossible if you believe it's impossible. Since then, thousands of people have broken the record over and over and over again, which just goes to prove the point that just because someone says that's impossible or someone says you cannot do within the realms of, they say you can't do that, if you believe it, then it's going to be true. And it's up to us to decide what we believe in and what we don't believe in. And this book, I think, is pushing us to believe that we can do whatever we want to do, as long as we're capable of anything. If we put our minds to it, we can do anything. So that's what the first page is, and it always reminds me of it. Every day before I start reading before I start reading the book, I flip through this book, page by page. First page is those quotes. Second page is is how to learn. So you basically, whatever you're trying to learn, so far from what I've gathered, you want to learn in 25-minute increments. Take a 5-minute break. Think about what you just learned and really work through what it is. Take notes, summarize your notes, think about what happened in the last 25 minutes. Why am I looking at my webcam? The cam's here, but I'm looking at. You want to. I need. So, they. I need to learn how to edit so that I can take this out. 25 minutes. So, uh, the author proposes that you learn during a learning experience. Let's say it's an hour long. There's more scientific notes and authors and studies and things like that quoted, but essentially what is being stated is that when you learn something, you start learning here, and then the lesson ends over here. So depending on how long this takes, you really only remember the first like 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes, and you really don't remember a lot in the middle. There's and so if you're learning over the time of if you're reading and studying and whatever over like 3 hours, you're not going to remember a lot of it, because it's a lot of like initial attention and then just kind of a bland understanding, and then you're like, oh, thank God the lesson's over, I'm out. And then you look back on it and you don't remember nearly as much as you think you should have. So the author says to read in increments of 10 to 25 minutes, take a break, review, do something else, and then when you start your next session, to think back on what you learned last time, which I think is incredible. It's working very well for me. I'm really bad with phone numbers. I'm bad with names as well. But I recently memorized one phone number after about 10 minutes. I thought about the number during those 10 minutes. I wrote it down once. I quoted it 2 or 3 times. I kept doing the lesson, and then I just forgot about it. And now it's part of my memory. I know the number. It's blank, 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 blank. I remember. So, 25 minutes. Also, there's the faster method, and each letter of faster stands for something. And before you partake on a learning experience, you need to forget what you know about the topic. If you think you know something about it, you're not going to be open to new understandings or viewpoints to it. For some people, forget anything unimportant. If you're trying to learn something and then you think, oh, I need to do this other thing, that's going to distract you. So drop it. Bring out a notepad, write it down, and move forward. Back to the lesson. Also, forget your limitations. If you start learning how to code, for instance, and you tell yourself, I'm just too old, I'll never learn this thing, but I'm going to read these documents. If that's the mentality you go into the project, you're not going to succeed, because you've already set yourself up to believe that I can't learn this because I'm too old. So forget what you think you already know about the topic. Forget about anything that's not important or urgent, and forget about whatever limitations you think apply to you. Drop them. A is to act. So during your lesson, you want to take notes and you want to create something with your knowledge. Slideshow, notepad, easy. You're just going to basically take your knowledge and then recreate it in another format. That way, you kind of make it yours. You're also going to be in control of your state of mind. State, you know, if you're tired or sad or unhappy or angry, and then you go into a lesson, you're not going to remember anything about the lesson because you don't remember a lot during those stages. At least learning wise. And so you need to take control of your state of mind and be like, okay, we're here to learn. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this lesson. This is going to be a very good thing. Whatever you need to do to control your state of mind is what has to happen during these learning periods. If you like a certain smell, have a candle burning. If you like a certain sound or an ambiance, you want to create that for yourself. You need to take control of your surrounding so that can help influence your state of mind so that you can learn better. Another thing, teach. One of the second reasons why I created this channel is that you want to when you're learning new material, you want to learn it under the assumption that you are going to be teaching it to another person later on, because that when you do that, you look at the information differently. You pay more attention. You pay more attention to the specifics and the implementation of the things versus just a less you pay more attention because you need to if you're going to teach it. Also, when you're teaching someone this stuff, you learn the same material twice. And so it sticks with you even more. And something when it comes to the art of learning is something you really want to have a lot of experience with or hands-on with. The next one is to enter. F, forget. A, act. S, state. T, teach. E, enter. You want to enter the time limit, or you want to enter into your calendar, into your schedule, time to read the book Limitless, to do the activities in the book Limitless. And because you create a time for it, you should be following through and dedicating the time to the project. And that will help you learn and keep on moving forward. And lastly, review. Before you start your lesson for the day, you want to look back on what you learned yesterday or in the previous session and then try to remember as much as you possibly can about that session before moving forward onto new material. Which is why we're here in chapter 6, because I've already done 1 through 5, and I am now currently reciting those things that I've learned before I start this chapter to start learning about the 7 lies of learning. The next on this page is a commitment. Basically, you commit to learning the stuff, doing the activities, and the book begins with asking you to define what is one of your dominant questions. Like, what's that question that you hear in the back of your mind that just tickles back there every day that says, why, when you're not feeling good about yourself or you're not feeling good about the state of things, your brain always says something to you. Like, you should be better. Why can't you be better? Why didn't you do more? Why aren't you smart enough? That negative thing. What is that thing that you hear most often in your head? And it's crazy because for me, I never actually heard it. I never paid attention to it. It was just something that happened in my background. I just kept living my life. But mine is, how do I do better? Like, with anything that I'm doing, at the end of the day, I'm always not happy with how it turned out because I'm trying to figure out how I could have done it better. Like, why didn't I do that better? Even if it's something as simple as taking out the trash. Like, I should have taken the trash out last night because I already know that Friday is trash pickup day and we're not going to be generating any trash tonight. Why didn't I do that better? Why can't I do why was I not smart enough to do that already? Why is it taking this kind of purposeful thought to have this created into the world? And so for me, that's I never heard it before until then, and now it's crazy because in the things that I'm doing now, day to day, I feel it. I feel it in the back, being like, was that really the best way I could have done that? Could I have not done that like three times better? And then, of course, I have to argue with that side of my brain and tell that side that I can and I will, and that this is not the sum of my entire life. The improvement to be made, it's going to be made. I'm working on it right now. So, inner critic needs to, shove off and leave me alone because I'm working on improvement here. They then go over. The author informs us that we are all geniuses because genius is not strictly only IQ related. There's several types of genius in the world. They go on to quote things like the Blaze genius, people like Oprah Winfrey that connects people and they connect themselves with other people, and they're basically gatekeepers. Not in the negative connotation, but in the connotation of public speaking, gatekeepers. They ensure everyone can get along and talk to each other, and they expand and they touch and they can reach out to people like other people just cannot do that as well as them. There's also the Steel genius, which is more along the lines of like number crunching and data analysis and extrapolation and like really sweating the small stuff and really paying attention to those point zero zeros and really digging deep on some of those really small finer details that the rest of us are like, oh well, that's like a millisecond difference, why does that matter? Then oh there's other ones, but I didn't write those other ones down because those didn't apply to me. I believe I'm more of a Blaze genius and a Steel genius because I pay attention to a lot of smaller details when it comes to things I'm proficient in. Um, because if you watch these videos, I'm not quite proficient in them yet, but I'm going to be. I think I actually fixed the audio buzz with this video that's going up right now. And the Blaze Genius is, I think I'm a people person. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know what? I am a people person. I can connect people. I'm a people person. I do very well with people, and I can do even better. I know it. We have mentions of the method of learning, 25 minutes to 10 minutes at a time, review, the faster method, removing all those limitations, approaching things with the open mindset, uh, things to be aware of, your inner critic saying negative things about you, the kind of genius you think you can be, and the possible fulfillment, the eventual fulfillment of those genius. And now we move on to creating a new belief, which is pretty important because whenever you have those limitations, those limiting beliefs, so like this chapter right here, the 7 lies of learning. While lies is the word lies, the author intends it to be read as limited ideas entertained. So basically, limiting ideas that you entertain. If you think you're too old to learn how to code, then you've created that limiting idea and you entertain it, and then you cannot learn how to code because you believe that that is true. And so you need to learn how to get over it. You need to learn how to understand that that's not true, that it's only true if you make it true. And the best way to not make it true is to not believe it and then go ahead and learn how to code anyways. Um, so once you can spot those lies, those limited ideas entertained, you can hear them in your critic voice on the inside saying, "You can't do that. You're too slow. You're too dumb." And you can hear that and you can change that. You can say, "I'm not dumb. I just am uneducated." And with this steps that I'm taking in, I'm going to educate myself on this, and I'm going to get smarter, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to be the best. So you saying that I'm dumb is a lie, and it's not true, and I'm not going to let you make me think it's true. I am going to learn how to freaking code, and then you move forward. You learn how to code. You learn how to play the violin or whatever it is. You basically you just need to hear those lies you tell yourself, identify them, correct them, and then keep on going with whatever it is you're going to apply this knowledge to. So for me, the first thing that I'm going to apply this limitless knowledge to is learning how to code. So tomorrow, after I do this upcoming lesson, tomorrow I think I'm going to start another YouTube video or a stream, probably both, on learning how to code. Because this is the time. This is the time to learn about the lies of learning. So, thank you all for joining me on this latest episode of learning. I didn't even say the channel name in the beginning. Learning, living and learning. Today we're living and learning, and oh my gosh, I need to figure this out. But thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. I will most definitely see you guys again next time. Oh shoot! Did I click the record? Oh, thank God. Oh.